Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chadtronic, here today reacting to a Fox News report on the Nintendo DS. This video was suggested by Seafoam Gaming, so let's give it a chance.
Well, stop the music, because it's also redefining how vulnerable your kids are to child molesters.
What? I'm sorry.
Well, let me explain. You open the DS unit, you turn it on, you push PictoChat, and your DS unit is an open book. Anyone can write your child messages, send them sketches, anyone who has a DS unit.
Yes, inform your kids not to PictoChat with strangers, or you could be ending up with the likes of having them chat with this gentleman that you're seeing right now.
It's that simple. Granted, the girls knew it was me sending the messages, but they'd only met me minutes before.
Okay, let me get this straight. Hypothetically, I have a gentleman in the other room sending me messages to my Nintendo DS. They ask me where I live while they're in the other room of my house. I don't think that is very confidential information at that point.
From 90 feet. And yet still, I can send a message.
Holy crap. I tell you what, if anything, this news report is making me want to go out and buy a Nintendo DS. Nintendo, you guys make solid products.
Even when I went outside the doors, my Nintendo DS was still able to write to the other one. And remember Marissa chatting with her friend in the other car? That means a molester driving along could see your child in the back seat and start sending messages while you're in the front seat, totally oblivious to what's happening.
Okay, slow down. Let's be reasonable here. The chances of two cars side by side, one with a child molester driving, you think that person has time to crack open their DS and send your child PictoChat messages while driving their vehicle? I think the chances of that are pretty slim.
Now, Michael, Marissa, and Melanie know exactly what to do if a stranger tries to PictoChat them.
I'd sign off. I'd say Barney. I'll turn it off.
If a stranger sends you messages, kids, you don't have to turn off your DS. You can still enjoy the games in which the reason you bought it for. Just don't chat back. Why are they scaring kids to an extent so much that if anybody messages them that they don't know, they have to shut off their Nintendo DS? That's letting the terrorists win, you guys. What?
To start us off tonight, NBC News correspondent Colleen Dominguez on the craze that has now hit Hollywood.
Brian looks like he's very skeptical on what this craze is all about. I think we better take a second look at this. I'm not so sure about this Pokemon thing. Why is there such a skeptical twist on this? I don't understand.
Anybody know how to play this? How to get to the next level?
What's that kid playing? Pokemon Snap? He's asking how to get to the next level?
Play this, how to get to the next level?
All you've got to do is take 6 pictures of Pokemon. What were you doing the whole time? Sightseeing? Also, is that the only clip they could get of that kid playing the game was him asking a question?
But some experts say the entire Pokemon phenomenon is the enemy.
Are you serious? This has got to be good. This is gonna be good. Oh my gosh.
Because the message is violence.
Whatever you do not let your children go outside your home. It's all dangerous. Stay away. Keep them inside. Lock them up. Let them play checkers.
School officials are finding that Pokemon cards are responsible for fistfights, and the constant trading is not only distracting kids from classwork, but turning the playground into a black market.
Turning the playground into a black market over Pokemon cards. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure things like baseball cards existed before Pokemon cards. How was the chaos organized? Where was the order then? What? What? I'm sorry. Is this guy on here to have any sort of discussion about what Pokemon actually is? Or is he just going to be pitching us toys the entire time? Granted, I am very interested in this, and I probably already own half of these things. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chadtronic. And just when I think I'm done with these news report type videos, you guys go out and find me another one. There's like a never-ending supply of these. I have a feeling this one is gonna hit close to home because it's about Animal Crossing. Wow. All right, let's get into this.
Yeah, and an ABC 17 crime alert tonight. The Mid-Missouri Internet Crimes Task Force.
Man, if there was an organization that I would ever fear, it would be the Mid-Missouri Internet Crimes Task Force. Doesn't that just sound intimidating?
The Mid-Missouri Internet Crimes Task Force
Says adults are now using systems like Nintendo Wii, Xbox, PlayStation, and Webkins.
Wait, did he really just say that? I almost need a double take on that.
Xbox, PlayStation, and Webkins.
Webkins? You know, Nintendo Wii, Xbox, PlayStation, and Webkins. One of these things is not like the other. Can you guys tell me which one of those that is? Webkins, what the heck? Webkins. Are you serious?
For example, this character could be the man in California police are warning about tonight that asked for images from Missouri children.
This cannot be real. These people have to be trolling. This could be the man in California police are warning about. A non-playable character in a Nintendo game. That's not even a playable character. That's not a real person. That's an NPC. For Pete's sakes, can you not do 30 seconds of research? ABC News? Oh my God.
I cannot come up with any legitimate reason that an adult would be playing that particular game.
Don't be so quick to judge, dude. Us man children, we enjoy a good Animal Crossing game, okay? Don't be so quick to judge. Animal Crossing games are not just games meant for little kids. It's a lifestyle. Okay? Don't be so quick to judge. Take a look at this caption here. You'll never see this probably ever again. So let's enjoy this for a second. Crime alert. We abuse. Ooh, that Tom Nook character. I bet that's somebody. I bet that's an old man in a basement somewhere trying to ask for images of small children. I have no doubt.
There's lots of equipment like that out there. We just can't afford to buy them all. We also just don't have the investigative resources to have people doing investigations on Wii and investigations in Xbox and investigations in all those possibilities.
Guys, our Internet Crimes Task Force, we just can't afford to buy a $25 used game. We just can't. It's not within our $5 budget. We can't afford to buy Animal Crossing. We just cannot afford it. And this is a serious issue. Okay? I'm gonna gently throw down this laundry basket!
You have to buy a completely new hardware system to play the new Super Mario 4 game.
Whoa! Time out! What's the number to dial 911? This is a scam. Has anyone heard of this? Have you guys heard of this? You to play the game with better graphics and better performance, you have to buy new hardware? What kind of foreign concept is this? They're ripping people off, dude. To play the new Super Mario game, I have to buy a new system? I wonder what people are going to say about this. Let's check this out.
He has a Game Boy, and now he has the Nintendo, and now he'd have to have another unit just for that one game. It doesn't seem right.
You have no idea, woman, what horror is coming to you in the future. Look at this kid. He's obviously very excited to be here at this rehab. $200!
Some of the new games look like updated takes on fairly well-known formats. In the racing game of F-Zero, you're in a futuristic race car. Oh, I guess I should watch where I'm driving instead of talking. The 3D effect, as you can see, is pretty good by video game standards.
Dude, you're going backwards. You're in reverse, dude! Dude, you're in reverse! Woo! Gotta go fast! Woo! That's no good! Woo! Yeah! Woo! we're going to be taking a look at a very popular 90s meme. You've probably heard of him. I'd be surprised if you've never heard of him. Barney the dinosaur. Like I said, I'd be surprised if you've never heard of him. Very big meme. And not all parents were a fan back in the day. Some parents were not very fond of the idea of their children being obsessed with this particular program. So, in today's Chadtronic video, we'll be taking a look at Barney the dinosaur. Let's take a look back and let's see what we're getting into today. Guys, did you see that? Did you see how much that child was interacting with that toy? Amazing. But this is when it gets really good, guys. Have you ever heard of Barney bashing? Well, you're about to find out.
Barney the dinosaur is a lovable character seen on the American PBS network, but the character has some parents up in arms because of overbearing niceness and the almost cult-like hold that he has on kids. Tonight, we're going to show you some real Barney bashing, which took place at the University of Nebraska. Andrew Lezecki has the story.
To millions of kids, he's a superstar of public television.
Are you guys ready? We're ready.
But for these University of Nebraska co-eds, they'd rather have Barney seeing stars.
This is amazing. In fact, this is really right up my alley.
Welcome to UNL's Barney Bashing Bash, for all those who'd rather hit the purple dinosaur as to hug him, or make Barney the target of their frustrations. An open opportunity to bean Barney, or just rip the stuffings out of him. For the more mild, it's a chance to give him the old Crayola treatment.
Yes, I hate Barney.
Nothing shows your anger and hatred for Barney than when you color outside of the lines like a true savage. That is the most savage coloring I think I've ever seen in my life. Truly savage. Also, side note, all these toys, you have to remember, all these toys in the 90s when Barney was popular, all these toys were very expensive. This event to just destroy Barney toys had to have cost a lot of money. Holy crap. That just speaks volumes on how much more these people hated Barney.
But not everyone thought all this beating, bashing, and trashing was such a great idea, especially towards something that means so much to children.
I think it's pretty sick. It's pretty sad that they're protesting a little kid's idol.
And you guys think that the country is divided today? Well, let me tell you, the election has nothing on how controversial Barney was in the 90s. Back then, we talked about the real issues at stake, okay?
If Barney bashing didn't ruffle your feathers, and this featured 3-round wrestling match between Big Bird and Barney certainly would have you crying foul. With a right wing hook, Barney hits the floor. No more purple dinosaur.
They had a death match between Big Bird and Barney the dinosaur. See, okay, now attending that event makes sense now. That sounds like some true entertainment right there.
You know, the sad thing is those students are the future of that country.
Yes, well, I think that's saying something, though, isn't it?
So there you have it, guys. Barney the dinosaur. Very controversial. Ladies and Fricklets! My name is Chadtronic, and welcome once again to the only channel on YouTube where a kid can be a kid.
Eyewitness News reporter Rob Elgus joining us tonight with what parents need to know about this new secret shorthand.
Solving the mysteries of the great Egyptian pyramids. Can wait. Solving the mysteries of the Great Wall of China. Can wait. Solving the mysteries of a hidden emoji language. We need to get on this stat. Anything that children enjoy that emits the smallest hint of fun must be evil, and the code must be cracked. Quick, we must lock up the demon.
But for most moms and dads, emojis are another obstacle in understanding kids and keeping them safe.
Emojis aren't dangerous. They're dangerous. I mean, they didn't say that directly, but they're pretty much implying that. They even said, learn about this to keep your kids safe. Pretty much, once again, trying to instill fear of something that for adults is unfamiliar. Are you guys seeing a trend with these videos?
The phones are bad enough. This would just be one more item.
I don't speak emoji. For adults, deciphering emojis can be nearly impossible.
For adults, deciphering emojis can be nearly impossible. Did they really just say that? Time out. Let's take 2 steps back here. Guys, do you see this? It's a smiley face. It's meant to display the emotion of feeling happy. That's the basics. Not very complicated, is it? I mean, sure, I'll admit it's not very hard between a group of friends to create a secret code word or emoji combination that's meant to mean something else. But let's be fair here. This can be done with just about anything. It doesn't have to be exclusively done with emojis. What this news report is trying to convey is that there is some sort of a universally understood hidden language, which honestly is quite the exaggeration.
And right away, to me, it's like somebody who's got this cool look who really is about to smoke some weed.
News reporting 101, guys. If you want to wrestle the feathers of parents as quickly as possible over something, just immediately connect that thing with the use of drugs. It's like the low-hanging fruit of mainstream journalism. Want to abolish something that kids enjoy? Just vaguely connect it with drugs as quickly as you possibly can. Don't do any other investigating. Just connect it to drugs. Always.
One emoji could replace what 5 or 6 words would actually say to a person.
What? One emoji can replace 5 to 6 words. 5 to 6. Yeah, I think you're reaching a little bit there. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's pretty difficult to have an entire conversation with only the use of emojis. For the most part, I see emojis as like a silly and ironic way to marginally enhance an already existing conversation. That is, if you even see emojis or consider emojis an enhancement. Sometimes the use of them is just annoying. But viewing emojis as some sort of substitute form over communicating in an actual language, that's a bit silly.
Conversations that typically we can't have with maybe an adult because we might be embarrassed or just don't know how to articulate what we want to say among their peers, right? They already know what that means.
I think making the claim that emojis can articulate information better than using an actual language is probably the all-time most stupid thing said so far in this video. Imagine if someone like pulled up to you on the side of the street asking you how to get somewhere, but the only way you're allowed to answer them is in the form of emoji. Do you think that person is going to be able to find where it is they're trying to get to? No, probably not. In fact, they'd probably look at you as a sad and strange part of our society if you answered them in that way. Oh boy, this is it. They've cracked the code. I'm excited. Let's check this out.
Experts say don't let them apologize for hurting someone's feelings using a text or emoji. That's something experts say should be done face to face.
I'm all for encouraging kids to interact with others in real life, of course. That's great advice, but how is that cracking the code? If you thought this was the only news station to cover the hidden dangers behind emojis, you're wrong. There's more.
Flower. A flower. You think that's just a flower,
It means
right?
you want to bring your mother flowers.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
It can also mean drugs.
Whoa, okay. That's a new one for me. Remember what I said earlier in this video? Want to abolish something that kids enjoy? Just vaguely connect it with drugs as quickly as you possibly can.
A frog.
Hey.
A cute little frog.
Maybe it means hop on over. Huh?
No, it can mean, I think you're ugly.
Is that a diss at frogs?
But we got to do our best as parents to keep up with the latest trend, and this is one of them.
Oh my God, this is it. We have to move on to something else. They've cracked the code. We have to move on to something else. We've been exposed. We have to move on to something else. We not only have to now disguise our communication, we have to disguise ourselves physically. For that, I think I've got just the perfect cover for this. Go! Check it! It's my chocolate ice cream costume. Can you guys see me inside of this? Please do not unsubscribe. Chad, I officially dislike this video, and I order you to delete this. Delete this video, Chad.
Personally, I believe Sony Pictures missed a great opportunity to make the Wingdings movie. That's the movie they should have made. Wingdings the movie.
Ha guys, look, I'm Patrick Stewart.
Tonight on Chadtronic Inside Edition, I will be showing you the latest and most devastating tools in weapon technology, Beyblades.
Welcome to another episode of Schools Don't Want Kids to Have Fun. On this episode, I kid you not, a school suspends a student for bringing a Beyblade to school.
His mother says her son was suspended from school for pretending a toy was a gun.
That's a bit extreme, don't you think? Suspended for pretending a toy was a gun. I mean, who hasn't done that at least once? I can see why he'd be suspended if he thought a gun was a toy, but that's a topic that's maybe a little too dark to cover here on my YouTube channel, at least if I want to remain advertiser friendly.
Telling me that I have to come pick my son up from school because he was playing with a toy and pointed it to a kid and was pretending it was a gun and said bang bang.
Listen up, kids! School's in session! Clearly, that's a gun! Bang bang! Suspended for violent shoulder tapping.
Gage's dad was in his college class when he got the call.
His mom had called me and told me the situation, so I actually had to miss out on school because of this ridiculous situation for no reason, because he got accused of playing with a toy.
What a disruptive cycle we have here. Toy causes kid to be pulled out of school, therefore resulting in also pulling an adult out of school, his father, all because of some violent shoulder tapping. Oh God, what's he doing now? That looks like a remote control for some sort of explosive device. Suspended for life! Don't bring your Beyblades to school, kids. School administration will view it as an act to instill terror. Be safe. Just stick to Pokemon cards. Unless they view that as some form of unsanctioned illegal gambling. You know what? Just don't bring anything. If you want to avoid jail time, don't bring anything to school. You thought Beyblades were dangerous? You've seen nothing yet!
The kindergarten student branded a terrorist threat. She was suspended from her school in Pennsylvania for threatening to shoot another kid. Her weapon, this Hello Kitty bubble gun.
Guys, let me share something important with you. If you want to be destructive, you shoot bullets. But if you want to strike fear into your enemies, you shoot bubbles. You shoot bubbles.
The mother has tried to get the girl in another school since this time, and they won't take the little girl because of this mark on her record.
All right. It says here while you were in kindergarten, you were suspended for blowing bubbles. I'm afraid we can't accept students into our school with this kind of reckless behavior. It's a good thing your school made time to make this detailed addition to your permanent student record.
The school district superintendent told ABC News, "We are confident that much of the information supplied to the media may not be consistent with the facts." He went on to say the district takes the well-being and safety of students and staff very seriously.
I like how adamant the school administration is about this, almost like they take pride in severely overly punishing a 5-year-old. She's 5 years old. Like, come on.
Clearly, these schools need help in identifying what is and what is not a gun. This Hello Kitty bubble toy is not a gun.
This is a gun.
Mostly. Kind of.
You guys just can't ever let
a man-child get some rest, can you? I all the time. You guys leaving comments on these videos. We need Chad. Chadtronic needs to see this. Where is Chapstick? Hey, Chadtronic, we need you over here. That's enough, guys, okay? I can't get any sleep. I don't know if you know this, but there's a red light in my bedroom. And every time someone leaves a comment calling for my action, that thing goes off. And it doesn't matter whether it's in the middle of the day or in the middle of the night. I get no freaking sleep because of you guys. You couldn't shine Batman's bat signal every 5 seconds and expect him to show up every time. That's just, I think that's just, those expectations are just a little unreasonable, okay? That's what you guys are doing to me. You're overworking me. I don't get paid enough for this. The meme fund is drying up. And anyway, you fricks want me to watch this stupid thing. This is a huge new fad. It's taking the nation by spin. See what I did there? And you got it. You all are calling for, what does Chadtronic say about this? We need Chad Fidget. Where's Chad Fidget? We need him for this. We need him to react to the video. We need him to stand up for the little ones, okay? I went to the store. I went to the meme mart, and I had to do a little bit of research because I don't know what this crap is, okay? I don't know what this fidget frickin' stuff is. I don't know what this is. So I got this. This video is about those who speak against us, who don't understand the growing trends of our generation. They don't get us. They're out of touch. They don't understand why a piece of plastic spinning in your hand is the future. They don't understand. They don't get it. So let's go ahead and take a look at why these fun little harmless toys are getting banned all across America. Let's take a look. What? Hey, does anybody want a free credit card? Because they just showed it. I mean, you obviously don't have the pin, but anything else you want about the card, it's right there in plain sight. They didn't bother to cover up any of that. So if anybody wants that free credit card, I go for it. It's not my problem.
Local pediatrician Scott Krugman says it started out innocently enough, a digital distraction.
I don't get it. Why do they call this a digital distraction? There's nothing electronic about this. I mean, maybe this one because it lights up, but besides that, I mean, this is not a phone. Why are you calling this a digital distraction? These are really fun, by the way. Just side note, these are actually really cool. I'm glad I spent money on this. Also, I can write this off. This is a tax write-off. That's right, guys. Get jealous. Get jealous of me. I got 2 fidget spinners.
But like most new crazes, they are quickly becoming a headache for teachers.
The phones are bad enough. This would just be one more item.
This is basically a cell phone, guys. This is basically, you can play games on this. It's a distraction. I wonder if you can install Pokemon Go on this, actually.
Now the spinners have been banned.
Did you see that sweet and smooth transition? They put a lot of planning and editing into that 2 seconds there. That they put a lot of thought into that. Let's just go ahead and show that off a couple more times. I mean, they're obviously proud of that. So, I mean, a couple more times here.
Now the spinners have been banned. The district says any item that's considered a disruption faces the risk of being taken away.
Oh my God, guys, look how much of a disruption this is. Look how much this is truly ruining the world right now. No one can do their jobs. No one can continue to work. This is truly stopping everything. This is stopping the world from turning. Are you seeing how much of a disruption this is? Oh my God.
I'm not too sure about this toy.
Oh my God, that elderly lady is looking at a fidget spinner like it's crack cocaine. Like this is a drug the kids need to stay away from. Like, seriously, take a chill pill. Ladies and friends, my name is Chadtronic, and today's video is about Pokemon Go. As is with everything that brings the children joy, the mainstream media must take a giant dump on it. And so in today's video, we're taking a look at a couple of those news reports. And some parents are not fans of Pokemon Go. Let's take a look.
Now, a word of caution tonight about a wildly popular new cell phone video game.
A word of caution about a wildly new popular cell phone video game. What is more dangerous than a cell phone video game? Look at that. I'm just loving this terminology. Regular video games, not dangerous. Computer games, not dangerous. A cell phone video game? Oh boy, you better keep your pants zipped up.
Katie, several times since Wednesday, armed robbers in Missouri lured players through the app.
Already we could tell how professional this news station is when they can't even get their audio crew to push the right buttons. I didn't do that. That was all them.
If you live in the game, your head's down, you can become a target. You can easily become a victim.
If you're texting while driving, if you're distracted by a game of Clash of Clans, you are 100% safe. But if you're playing Pokemon Go, you could become a victim. You could become a target. It's dangerous to be playing Pokemon Go. That's the dangerous distraction because there's not been any other distractions on smartphone devices ever.
The chances are, if you see somebody walking around like this, they could be playing Pokemon Go. Somebody walking around like this.
I was trying to catch an oddish a couple nights ago, and I ran into a bush.
Look at that! The news made Pokemon Go players look like idiots. People playing Pokemon Go, they're walking into bushes.
App used to, rather an...
The guy sounds like a friggin', it sounds like that's a record scratch. That dude's about to drop his new mixtape. App used to... App used to... App used to... App used to...
Colleen, the dangers are popping up with so many people playing.
Oh man, they rehearsed for this report all morning. They rehearsed, they practiced, and they still couldn't get it right. Hey, remember that popular game from the 90s that was highly criticized? Yeah, sure do. Guess what? The players are still getting in trouble playing the game because the game itself is bad. It's a bad thing. Don't associate yourself with Pokemon.
There's a danger concerned with the game. You actually walk outside until you find Pokemon on the streets.
Are you serious? They're reporting that the danger of this game is because you have to go outside. What the heck? They're trying to twist this story like this game is something you want to stay away from, and it's sad how much they're falling on their face with this.
Dangers have already cropped up from the app. The O'Fallon Police Department reported armed robberies happening at Pokespots, and a Wyoming woman found a dead body playing the game. Mike says on Saturday they ran into parents looking for their son in Colorado Springs.
Okay, a lot was mentioned just now. Let's address these things in order here. Okay, first of all, Pokemon Go does not cause robberies. People cause robberies. And there are going to be criminals on the streets mugging people, whether they're going to be playing Pokemon Go or not. The game is not causing crime. Second one, girl finds a dead body while playing the game. Now it's found. I mean, finding a dead body is not a pleasant experience, nor is it something that's really positive, but I don't think it really has anything to do with Pokemon Go. I mean, what would have happened if she wasn't playing Pokemon Go? Well, she probably wouldn't have went out there, and the dead body would have just remained unfound. Is that a better situation? Okay, and this last one. It was something about some parents looking for their son because they're out playing the game. I don't really think that has anything to do with the game. I think that just has to do with bad parenting. That's not the game's fault. That's your fault for just not keeping an eye on your kid. I don't really understand what they're trying to prove with this. I mean, obviously, when you're out in public, you want to be careful no matter what you're doing. It really doesn't have anything to do with the game. you can't blame the game for the decisions and choices that you make as a person.
But there's one Bay Area mother who believes this is not all fun and games.
Sometimes I can't believe this is real, but then I'm like, oh wait, this is real.
I found some examples. This avatar says he pulls his pencil out. Another one says she takes off her bar instead of bra.
Wow! Guys, look out! I'm gonna take off my bar! I'm gonna take out my pencil. Also, pro tip in identifying an online sexual predator. They will have names like this. Prince Cool Dog, obviously an online sexual predator. Obviously!
This one says they start snogging again. Animals jump up and down in simulated sex acts.
News station! Hey, news station, why didn't you blur that out? That's a simulated sex act. Why didn't you blur that out? I'm scarred for life now. I will never be able to get those images out of my head. I'm scarred for life! Holy frick, are you kidding? And advertisers don't want their ads running on controversial content here on YouTube. And I think you guys know, I don't have to tell you this, not all content is controversial on YouTube. Way to punish the rest of us. Some of us on YouTube, we just like to make some good memes here and there, okay? I just can't wrap my brain around this, guys. I cannot wrap my brain around this. The Chadtronic meme fund, it's drying up. Okay, it's drying up. This is all I could afford for this video. This may be the last meme that I can afford to purchase, and I mean that very seriously. Our funds for memes, they're drying up. This is it. We need these advertisers to come back to YouTube. We need Verizon, come back to YouTube. AT&T, come back to YouTube. Johnson & Johnson, Toyota. We need you guys to come back to YouTube. Pepsi, we don't need you to come back to YouTube. Pepsi as a brand is pure. Pepsi is untarnished. Pepsi is like the Mickey Mouse of all soda, if you get what I mean. Pepsi has never done any sort of advertising to its brand to embarrass itself. Ever. Anyway, advertisers are not the only people currently upset with YouTube. Oh no. It doesn't just end there. As easily as we could predict, parents are also upset with YouTube. Just recently, some news reports have been coming out just recently at the very beginning of this month. Officials warning parents to monitor disguised YouTube videos. Man, what a headline. I'm already shaking in my boots. It's not like YouTube has been around for years or anything, and just now, at random, we should suddenly be very concerned about it. YouTube for years has been a free alternative to cable television for everyone's source of entertainment at no cost. So naturally, how do we reward YouTube for this? We all panic about it and point our fingers at it like it's the root of all evil, obviously.
News Channel 10's Mary Coleman joins us now with more on how easily accessible they are to children and what you can do to protect them.
Guys, I tell you what, I can't wait for this. Before this news report, I was completely unaware on how to protect my children. Before watching this news report, I was lost. I don't know how to raise my own kids. For the record, I don't have children, but I'm glad that I'm getting educated in advance, because if I did have kids, I wouldn't know what to do until I saw this news report. So thank God for this news channel.
But just as easy as it is to search for these videos, it's as easy to block them.
Oh God, we're already jumping to turning on restricted mode? Well, that escalated quickly. Let me tell you what, do you guys remember back in the day? Some of you might not remember this, but I do. I remember this. Back in the day, restricted mode used to be called parenting. We used to call it parenting. That's right. Things were tough back then. We couldn't just toggle a feature on a website. We actually had to monitor our kids and actually raise them and make decisions. Life was tough. Thank God for restricted mode. Restricted mode, you've made parenting incredibly easy. Now I don't even have to babysit my kids. You're going to do it for me. And I have to worry about nothing. This is great. I really like how they've got that watermark up in the top right corner. This footage was provided by courtesy of YouTube. Yes, of course, because we all know YouTube themselves made this content. Obviously, I know we really, really want to point fingers at YouTube, but newsflash, YouTube did not make that content.
So we can't use YouTube as a babysitter. It's just simply not safe.
You're telling me that if I don't keep an eye on my child and I ignore them, they could be watching inappropriate content? If I don't keep an eye on my kid, they could be doing something I don't approve of? I don't understand. I should be rewarded for not keeping an eye on my kids. This makes no sense to me. I've got to keep watching this. This just doesn't add up. I know a lot of Spider-Man and Elsa content on YouTube can be mostly considered money grab type content targeted at kids. But if that content for those kids that watch it, if that content for them is entertaining, then it looks like YouTube is working just fine. It's in kids' natural DNA to enjoy watching content they know they should not be. It's in their DNA to enjoy watching inappropriate content. Do you know what kind of content I was watching when I was a kid? I was watching Ren and Stimpy, and some of the stuff on that show is very inappropriate. And look how I turned out. I turned out completely normal. I know of a place where you can watch content that is not inappropriate and very entertaining, and it is provided by myself. It's my third YouTube channel that I just started. It exists. Nothing's there. You can subscribe to it if you want. And here it is. This is it. It's called Gloop, and it will have content soon. Feel free to subscribe. The link to my third channel will be in the description of this video. Subscribe to Gloop! Ladies and fricks, welcome to another episode of the mainstream media claims that video games are from some evil artifact and must be destroyed. Seriously, it's 2016. Video games are a welcomed form of media at this point, but yet the mainstream media would argue otherwise. A lot of you have wanted me to watch this video, so without further ado, let's get into it. Let's see what's coming out of the top newsroom of CNN. Stop the video! Let's take a look at this caption right here. Newtown kids dump video games. Boy starts movement. Played out. Choose not to play. I have a small hunch that hashtag choose not to play is not going to become a very large and active movement. There are a lot of people out there that like to play their video games. I don't think that hashtag choose not to play is going to be a very successful movement. Just a hunch. Oh my God. Let's just take a look at this scene here. Let's just cherish this moment right here. We've got three people, an older adult standing in the middle of two boys, standing next to a trash can with what appears to be video games on top of it. My imagination is just running wild at this point. I wonder what is going to happen here. Are they choosing to recycle video games? Is this an environmental message that's about to be presented here? I just don't know what's about to happen.
Why do you want to get rid of some of your video games?
We wanted to get rid of the video games because...
Man, I tell you what, this is the best audio for a live on-the-air interview. Whose idea on the interview team did they think was a good idea to stand right next to a loud running river? Seriously, this audio is terrible. This is not a small town local news station, guys. This is CNN. I expect better quality. than this.
We feel that it's negatively affecting some of the minds and feelings of the youth of this nation, and we just wanted to change that.
Wow, Max, those are some pretty adult words here for a 12-year-old.
Wow, Max, those are some pretty adult words coming from a 12-year-old. It's not like those words actually originated from an adult that told him to say these things. That would be ridiculous. Seriously, this just blows away my mind. I can't believe this is taking place right now. This father has convinced and brainwashed his children to destroy their own video games live on the air. He's even given them proper lines to speak.
This is not right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. Jackson?
Yeah, don't give Max any actual time to answer that question. Just let him say things like, pretty much. Just go ahead and put words in his mouth that fit the agenda that all video games are violent. So if you could just not actually answer that and just say things like, pretty much, perfect.
I see you have some video games next to you. What are you doing with them? What are you doing with them?
Don't, news anchor, don't do this. You guys screened this story beforehand. You know what is going down. Otherwise, you wouldn't be airing this right now. You know what is about to go down. Those video games are sitting on top of a trash can. Don't pretend and act like you don't know what is about to happen. A part of me genuinely hopes that that is not a trash can. Maybe it's a giant donation bin. Maybe this is a Toys for Tots type situation. Maybe they're donating these video games to less fortunate kids that can't afford to buy expensive video games. But that's my hope. That's probably not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is they're going to throw them away. They're going to throw away expensive video games that other kids would die to have. That's what's going to happen.
You're not only giving up the games, you are literally having them destroyed. Is that right?
Did you guys hear how surprised that news anchor was? I mean, it's not like they totally pre-screened this entire story and practically rehearsed it ahead of time. No, they said they're destroying the video games, and that is a huge shocker. I mean, if anything, the father of these kids looks like a complete tool right now, okay? Because you're the person who probably bought these games for them in the first place. So why are you making a big scene about destroying them? We're going to go on the news and broadcast how horrible parents we are and force my kids to destroy the games that I bought for them.
Right now, all we have is these games, but we're planning to get a lot more.
Okay, I'm actually confused right now. Those are the video games that they own that they're going to destroy. But they're still going to go out and collect more? Who buys a video game just to destroy it? That doesn't make any sense.
I think the kids got the message and they decided to universally pick up all the mature violence games.
That's right, guys. The dad had nothing to do with this. This is all the kids' decision. I'm sure it's the kids that called CNN to set up this entire thing. Not the father. It was the kids that set up this entire thing. It's not like only adults have a political agenda. No. It's obviously the children. The kids have a political agenda, not the adults.
I hope that this triggers the minds of other parents and mostly other kids. They decided to universally pick up all the mature violence games. Mature violence games.
I guess we can probably assume, at least for their benefit, that most of the games sitting on top of that trash can are games that are rated M. Let's just say that some of those games right there are some of the most violent video games that you can purchase. The ESRB, the Entertainment Software Rating Board, even states on their website that rated M games are suitable for ages 17 and up because they may contain intense violence. So let's just set the record straight. You as the parent went out to the store and willfully bought and purchased a rated M game, a game that is suitable for kids of the age of 17, and you gifted it to your 12-year-old son and are now complaining that the game is too violent. So to make your point, you are going on a news station and destroying the video games that you should have not purchased for your 12-year-old son in the first place, and complaining that the games are too violent for your 12-year-old son. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I think violent movies are just the same they have the same cause as these games, and they don't really do anything different than these games do.
Now, Jackson actually just made a very good point. Video games are a lot like movies, because just like video games, movies have a rating system. Let's take a hypothetical approach to this, okay? Let's look at the movie equivalent to this situation. Let's say Jackson's father, Jackson's 12 years old, Jackson's father buys Jackson a ticket to go see a rated R movie. Jackson comes home later that evening. He's totally traumatized from the content that was in the movie because the movie's rated R. It contained content not suitable for Jackson's age. Now, does Jackson's dad, A, regret his decision buying his son a ticket to go see a rated R movie and accept his bad parenting? Or does Jackson's father call up the local news station and demand that the local movie theater take down the movie because it contained content not suitable for the age of his son? I think you could take a wild guess what the actual conclusion to that story would be.
I'm gonna spend my free time by spending more time with my friends. They live probably like 5 minutes away from us.
I'm gonna spend more time with my friends who have parents that don't make them destroy their video games and just play video games at their house. That's the vibe I'm getting from that answer right there. So let's sit back and observe what the overall conclusion for this video was. Was the conclusion that all video games that contain violence be destroyed? Or is this the story of a man who made a bad parenting move and instead of admitting to it, went to the extreme lengths to contact a national news station, go on the air, and mask their bad parenting as some sort of choose not to play movement? Unreal. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chadtronic, and today we are reacting to an old ABC News report from 1988 called Nuts for Nintendo. Because you certainly don't know anybody who's nuts for Nintendo. Let's watch. I like how they chose to show money during the title screen for this news report.
You came 1,000 miles just for this game?
Yes. I've done 7 stores a day for 3 weeks now, and I cannot find it.
Clearly, this was the amiibo hunting of its day.
Even on the day that brings the first beautiful snowfall of the season, everyone...
Why would they use that clip? They make it look like kids who enjoy Nintendo are douchebags to each other. Video games, helping increase violence and raise bullies all across America.
This is as big or bigger than anything the toy industry has ever seen. I'll give you one comparison. Barbie, which is an institution, does about $500 million a year. Nintendo does over 3 times as much.
Did you hear that, Barbie fans? Nintendo fans? We own you! We freaking own you! Get wrecked! I'm pretty sure that's the typical image anyone has when you tell someone you play video games. Thanks, News Report from 1988, for creating that generic image.
You're throwing things that I've never even discovered in this game.
Yeah, because you don't know. If you're a grown-up, you hardly do this. If you're a grown-up, you have work to do.
Whoa, dude, kid, take it easy. It's just a grown-up, man. Okay. Poor John Stossel, man. That kid is laying down.
Thank you. May I help you?
And in Seattle, at the company's U.S. headquarters, they listen to the customers. 50,000 people call Nintendo's 800 number every week, asking for help with the games. Phones are manned by games fanatics who often play other games while answering questions.
This was before GameFAQs, okay, guys? This was a necessary service. These guys were like the very first professional Let's Players of their day.
In the U.S., it's mostly Mario that they want.
The last Super Mario Bros. 2 was just sold. Can they get upset?
Did you see that parent? That parent was out of there, man. They're just like, frick it, I'm out.
Can you take my name? Can you take my credit card, please? Can you do something? My kid wants it. His friend has it, and they're not friends anymore because he doesn't have it.
They're not friends anymore because he doesn't have it? Sounds like you need to get new friends, dude.
It's just one of those combinations of demand that far exceeded our most optimistic projections and an inability on the chip supplier to fulfill it.
The National Coalition Against Television Violence thinks they shouldn't because they say they're bad for kids.
These children are being raised to become murderers, clearly.
How many hours you play a day?
Around 1 or 2.
2 hours a night.
1 or 2. And what, the next thing you're probably going to tell me is that you play video games casually?
What do you mean take it away for a while?
I disassembled it and put it in the back of a closet for a while.
She disassembled it? What the frick are you, some sort of monster? I broke my closet. Ladies and friends! My name is Chadtronic, and today we're covering a high-quality meme from the 90s that I'm sure most of you remember. Beanie Babies. Beanie Babies has been something I know a lot of you have wanted me to cover in the past, and today this video is for you. I've never really understood the insane craze over Beanie Babies. I do remember, much like Pokemon cards, Beanie Babies were eventually banned from being brought onto school property, at least at the school that I went to. That's how hot these things got. They were banned from schools. Kids would trade these things like it was the black market out under the monkey bars on the school playground. People would just go absolutely crazy over collecting these things. How crazy? Well, let me show you rather than tell you.
Almonds. I don't have almonds, right?
Hold up! Can I just point out how hypocritical this is for just a short second? This message is for all the adults that made fun of me for liking Pokemon in the 90s. Let me just remind all of you adults out there that you were the first ones to take the bait on this sort of marketing. This was your Pokemon, okay, adults? This was your Pokemon. Your Pokemon was Beanie Babies. Except Beanie Babies was worse than Pokemon because you actually had to pay money for them. Unlike the game, where you make a one-time purchase to try and collect them all digitally, you were out spending money on trying to collect them all physically. Look who's laughing now, okay?
Store owners say Pokemon is the hot toy now.
That's right, Pokemon is the more hot toy now. Get wrecked, Beanie Babies. Scam! Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chadtronic, and I've got a question for you. How many of you gamers out there have had a game account taken from you, whether it be stolen, hacked, whatever? Maybe your Steam account got taken over, World of Warcraft account got hacked, maybe your Club Penguin account even got hacked. Well, what are you supposed to do in that situation? Well, normally you're supposed to contact the company that supports the game in order to properly recover your account. Here's what you don't do. You don't go to your local news station. I love the graphics for this. Look at the graphics for this. The Investigators. With a super edgy logo that randomly doesn't capitalize some of its letters.
It's where an 11-year-old like Timmy Easter of Gilbert can act like someone much older, catching shark.
It's a game where Timmy can pretend he's someone older. Because according to RuneScape's terms of service, you need to be at least 13, and Timmy's 11. So it wouldn't surprise me that Timmy would play the game to pretend that he's someone older, because he's already not allowed to have a RuneScape account.
Timmy is so good at it that people ask him for help.
Wow, Timmy's grandma seems to be certainly proud of Timmy's RuneScape achievements, saying that other people in the game ask Timmy for help. Yet when Timmy's RuneScape account gets hacked, nobody's around to help Timmy.
He spent years gaining a high level in an online game called Runescape.
Yes, Timmy has spent the entirety of his 11 years on this planet doing nothing but leveling up his character in RuneScape. Who even plays RuneScape anymore? Does anyone play RuneScape anymore? Nobody plays RuneScape anymore. I really like these graphics they have up. Timmy Easter with one caption saying "hacked on RuneScape." How would you like that to be your one claim to fame? You're 11 years old, and your one claim to fame is that you were someone hacked on RuneScape.
It's your items, and to have someone steal it without hesitation, it's just wrong.
Clearly, Timmy is absolutely devastated by this. I mean, did you see the emotional display that was put on just there? Clearly, this is someone that's just devastated.
Then at Christmas, it was coming up, and I told everybody, all the relatives, give him cash.
Grandmother Claire Kephart says Timmy received and spent $140 real to buy virtual swords and armor, making him more powerful in the game.
Time out? Wait, what the heck? That sounds like real-world trading. Timmy's account should have been banned. Who cares his account was hacked? He's already doing things that are against the game's terms of service. He's not even old enough to have a RuneScape account in the first place. Spending his poor family's money in a way that's not even allowed in the game. He's a freaking real-world traitor. He should have been banned from the get-go.
Attorney General Terry Goddard has another concern.
Oh my God. They got an attorney general to comment on this? This poor kid is wasting so many hours of other people's time over a hacked RuneScape account that just should have been banned in the first place. I mean, in this news slot tonight, on this news station, we could have been reporting on actual crime, things that the public actually needed to be informed about. But no, tonight's primetime news report is about Timmy's hacked RuneScape account. Oh my God.
Bottom line, don't let anyone lead you off a site. That's where most trouble begins. I'm investigator Joe Ducey, ABC 15 News.
Well, I think I've come to a solution to this long-lasting issue here. I have started a petition on change.org to recover Timmy's 2009 RuneScape account so it can be properly banned. In 2009, little Timmy's RuneScape account was hacked and stolen from him. Timmy participated in real-world trading and illegal game advancement methods and escaped receiving a proper ban from the game. We need to recover Timmy's old 2009 RuneScape account so it can finally be properly banned and laid forever to rest. Please sign and support our efforts. Warm Fricks. You heard it here first, guys. Share this petition. Get it signed. We need a response to this. Justice needs to be swift here, okay? We need to get Timmy's account properly banned like it should have been in the first place. Ladies and friends! My name is Chadtronic, and I've never had this many requests to react to one particular video. It's truly amazing how many of you requested this. This has been big news, especially with the wrap-up of this last year's holiday season. There's a lot of hot news surrounding parents not being very happy about Hatchimals, which I made a video about Hatchimals, so I know most of you are probably already familiar with these. I already made a video about it. I think it went pretty well. Yeah, so let's take a look at what all the fuss is about surrounding Hatchimals.
Dozens of you reaching out to us in frustration as the interactive hatching toy is not working. It's not hatching.
I like how he mentions lots of people have been reaching out to us because that's what you do when you have an issue. When you have an issue with a toy, do not contact the toy manufacturer. Do not contact the store in which you bought it from. What you want to do is you want to contact your local news station. That is how you get things done. Those are the proper channels that you want to take. That's the proper procedure. Contact your local news station. All right, hold up. Let's address these two complaints before we move on. Daughter's Christmas joy turns into tears. There are thousands of underprivileged children who don't even receive gifts for Christmas. So I think that particular complaint actually speaks more about the child than the actual toy. And let's address the second complaint. Mother was on hold with Hatchimal customer service for 2 hours. I'm reading into two things here about this particular complaint. The first thing is Hatchimal customer service. I sort of feel bad for them, to be honest. I mean, 2 hours. They've got to be taking on a large volume of calls. Probably all calls that contain very angry parents. And the second thing is this parent's time must really not be that valuable if they were already willing to wait that long on hold on what is, in my opinion, a pretty minor inconvenience. Your Hatchimal wouldn't hatch. You still have the Hatchimal. Once it's outside of the egg, I'm sure the Hatchimal functioned normal. But the fact that this one half-hour event could not take place, that's a big deal. We've got to put aside a lot of time for this and be on hold for hours on end. That seems pretty silly to me. Look how much effort was put into that Hatchimal bed. She made that, guys. That's clearly not just a neck support pillow or anything. She made that. She was prepared. This was like adopting a child, okay? Not a toy made from China. This was like adopting a child into your home. This was supposed to be an event. Ruined. I mean, I will give her one thing. They are called Hatchimals. They should probably do the one thing they're advertised to do. But I mean, I think the reaction that some of these parents are having is a little extreme. I'm getting the vibe from this parent that they probably overpaid for this toy. I mean, I would be upset if I paid $300 for a toy and it didn't work. Would I be as upset if I paid $40, $50 for a toy and it didn't work? I'd be upset, but my reaction would probably be a bit more tame. I'm getting the vibe that this woman probably paid a lot of money for this toy, and that's why the reaction is so extreme. I mean, it's not our fault that you spent an over-excessive amount of money on this toy. That's an assumption. I could be wrong. I could not be correct on that. That's my assumption. Just judging from this. That's just the vibe that I'm getting. So in conclusion to this first half of this video, these toys were hot this Christmas. They're not going to be hot next Christmas. They were only hot for this Christmas. Spin Master, the company who makes these toys, knows this. They wanted to take advantage of the window that these things were in very high demand, okay? So what do you do when you pump out millions of toys in a short time span? Your quality control is crap. That's what happens. That's just what happens with everything. When you overproduce a toy in a short time span, your quality control is going to be crap. That's just what's going to happen. So that's my guess as to what happened in this particular case. That has to be what happened. I mean, I understand. The thing is called Hatchimal. It should hatch. The egg, for those of you guys don't know, the egg is just like a second box covering the toy. Once the egg is removed from the toy functions normal and you have access to the toy.
The parents say their child's Hatchimal came out of its egg repeating a seemingly foul-mouthed line, one they questioned then and are still laughing about now. Hatching from its egg, Saanich parents wonder if what they're hearing is actually coming from their child's new toy.
I'm pretty sure it says F me.
What?
I'm not quite sure what it says. It sounds like heavy breathing.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I'm not really sure what to think about this. I always thought from the very beginning that these Hatchimals sounded kind of like sexual. I feel like if that's what it's really saying, you might have to use your imagination a little bit. I don't know. It sounds very muffled. I'd like to believe that is what it's saying, just because that would be hilarious. I would love to meet the voice actor who played the voice of Hatchimals, because I have a feeling they've done some questionable anime probably in the past. Fortnite, a popular online multiplayer game, a game that I'm sure most of you watching are familiar with or have at least heard of, has gotten very popular recently. And of course, as with everything that becomes popular, massive amounts of uninformed people start to formulate opinions about it. Or if you're part of a large broadcast group, you just email a typed up script charged with your own personal bias to a bunch of local news stations. You know, things the everyday Joe does to try and control the message. Totally normal behavior by today's professional standards. Definitely a group of people to be trusted. I'm going to be real with you guys for just a moment here in this video. Originally, I wasn't going to make a video about Fortnite in the news just because we've seen these arguments before several times on this channel, and I didn't feel like the situation really brought anything new to the table for this reoccurring sort of discussion. However, to put things bluntly, they just won't shut up about it. I'm not even joking. They just won't shut up. It's as if there's nothing left going on in the world. The first report on this was March 2nd, when Good Morning America aired a piece titled, "What Parents Should Know About the Online Survival Game Fortnite." And it's just spiraled out of control from there ever since. Hit pieces have been written and published about the game almost daily. Here's one from today, the day I'm recording this. Fortnite is being used by sick pedophiles to groom young children using the game's voice chat system, warns the National Crime Agency. Boy, that title is so long, I don't even feel bothered to get any more information. I think I'll just blindly share this on my compromised social media account. Here's another one from today. Horrified mom warns parents over pedophiles contacting children via Fortnite Xbox game. She could hear a man giggling and asking her son about intercourse. Well, that issue could easily be solved. She just needs to tell her son to join the Christian server matches only. Also, nice eyebrows. I'm glad they chose this particular photo to go with the story. Very relevant to the information inside the article. Here's another one from yesterday. School districts block popular Fortnite game from Wi-Fi. Great, that's good. A system admin's doing their job somewhere in the world. That's definitely newsworthy. Here's one that does get on my nerves a little. Game over. School texts parents about Fortnite telling them to ban the wildly popular game at home because it's causing big problems. St. Bernadette's Catholic Nursery and Primary School in Harrow, Northwest London sent an urgent text to families last night about the game. Parents were told it is unsuitable for primary pupils and needs to be banned at home. Okay, let me fix this headline. Passive-aggressive school contacts parents and oversteps personal boundaries. I like this one. New game craze could warp kids' minds. Although I can't actually access this article, the Daily Telegraph thinks their inside scoop is so juicy, they want you to pay $5 a week for access to their news. I have no snarky joke for this one. That kinda is the joke. I guess I'll just let these games warp my kid's mind because I'm unwilling to pay $20 a month to read digital articles on the internet. Women launch petitions to ban Fortnite because it's brainwashing and corrupting their boyfriends. I think this one might be satirical, but after reading the last few, it's getting harder to tell.
The American Academy of Pediatrics advises parents to place consistent limits on screen time, making sure it doesn't take the place of adequate sleep, physical activity, and other behaviors essential to health.
Why is it that we need to single out video games as the cause and being classified as some sort of disorder? If you are depriving yourself of sleep and any other sort of physical activity from doing a particular activity, you probably should just stop whatever that activity is, or at least shorten the participation and moderation of that particular activity. Doesn't have to necessarily be video games. Why is it we have to single out video games and classify this as a gaming disorder? I think it's kind of unfair. This could really apply to anything preventing you from doing those things.
What makes this game different than any other games that we've seen before, and how does it affect the brain?
Listen, when you mentioned Fortnite here in the studio, there were people high-fiving. I saw a bunch of teenagers in the studio high-fiving. This is a viral game. People are so into this game, and the thing that makes Fortnite so different is it's so interactive, Michael. I mean, people can play duo as a team and really interact over the video game. It affects our pleasure centers of the brain. That's what video games do, and this one is really intense.
To me, this man's description of Fortnite doesn't really sound like a description of Fortnite. His description just kind of sounds like the description for any video game. I'm not trying to deny that Fortnite isn't special by any means, but I mean, let's be real. He just described what a video game is. There's a ton of games that provide the experience he just described. Parents, after watching this news report, are just going to look at almost every video game as being a Fortnite. That's what's going to happen if things like this continue to be on television. Every video game is just going to be looked at as a Fortnite. That's what video games will be labeled as for parents if this continues.
That's an axe, dum-dum.
That's an axe, dum-dum. I like how we're trying to highlight how this game makes kids violent, and we hear terminology like dum-dum. This is making children overly aggressive. Did you hear those choice of words? These kids are absolutely out of control. What skin is this? I want to get this skin. Not everyone, but a lot of people's phone plans include unlimited data. So how would blocking Fortnite on school Wi-Fi even be effective if most kids can just still access the game on their phones via their own network access? Why would that even be effective? Why would kids need to find any sort of shortcut? They can probably just play the game itself on their phone without even having to connect to school Wi-Fi. I guess I'm kind of confused on this. Even when you consider all the parents upset videos I've made, this is hands down the largest overreaction to a video game that I've ever seen from the mainstream media. At the end of the day, it's still just a video game. As with everything, a little moderation can go a long way. The game itself is not at fault. I'm not even sure why there's so much panic. Have you seen the gaming crowd just blink your eyes and wait 7 days and everyone will be playing something else? Like Roblox Hunger Games. That's a fun game, right? That'll be the next big thing. Roblox Hunger Games. Is that already a thing? Probably.